What's up, everybody? All right, a few people are asking for beginner lessons. I'm going to do one. This is not going to involve songs or tab reading, anything like that. This is just going to be technique. This is the main issues, the bad habits that we all have when we start playing the guitar as soon as we pick it up that I want you guys to get rid of as soon as possible. So we're just going to do this simple exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4 with our fingers. Finger number 1, finger number 2, finger number 3, finger number 4. Now, some of you might not be able to do this and leave all your fingers down, right? It is really tough. Now, we've never really squeezed in this way before, and also trying to squeeze into the string and separate our fingers is two different motions at the same time, both of which we're not super used to in our daily life. So that can be difficult. If you need to, one finger, right? Drop your second one down, drop your third one down. Now, because I want to tackle all of the issues for beginners, make sure that if all of this is the 5th fret, make sure you're a little closer to the top bar. You don't want to be on it, but a little closer to that top bar. That's going to cut down how much pressure you're going to have to apply. All right? So that means you might have to move your hand forward and forward because your fingers are not used to spreading out. That's totally fine. This is going to help with some hand-eye coordination, which can be very difficult. And also with this hand, if you guys can really make sure that you're doing a down, up motion, that's really, really going to help for later. A lot of people, it is much easier and much more natural to just pick downward. So really make sure that you're working both ways. It is tough at first to be paying attention to both of your hands at the same time. I understand that. Now, let's get into the main issues. When we're riding a bike or picking up a hammer or a baseball bat, whatever it is, we really grip it like this, you know what I mean? And that turns into this. We can't do that. That cuts off all of our dexterity, all of our reach, all of the ability that our fingers have over the guitar neck, and it really stresses the fingers out. What I mean by that is your fingers don't actually need to be super, super strong. You can tell because you can just press down anywhere and make a sound. You don't have to squeeze really hard into it. So what we're actually doing is we're really pressing with this muscle. These muscles all over here in your fingers are not as strong as your thumb, and especially this muscle altogether. So that muscle needs to be back here pressing so that our fingers don't have to do all the work. If we do this, our fingers have to do absolutely all the work. It's just like if you guys pinch. I always have my younger students do this. I'll have them like act like this is their brother or sister's hand or cousin, whatever, and they go to pinch as hard as they can. They really want to get that pain, you know, and they'll do that, right? Just with their thumb and their finger. And they'll push together like that, or at least they'll make their finger go straight down. If you guys, you know, if you try to do that, you're not going to get any pain in there, right? Squeezing like in between here, because your finger has to do all the work and it's not as strong as your thumb. So I want you guys to seriously focus on when you're doing this exercise, keeping your thumb behind it. It's going to look just like this, all right? So if I take where my hand is right now, my thumb is pretty much right behind where my second finger is, a little bit lower, all right? That's gonna be the center part, you know, it's pretty much right behind your second finger. It's better to move it up a little bit, especially once we get into our pinky and third finger, but it is also on this side of our hand, so we can't have it like bent all crazy towards our pinky. So that is where most of your strength is gonna come in, all right? You don't have to squeeze the hell out of the guitar. That is something that is going to be so difficult to get away from this. This happens so much. The thumb is down here and you're just kind of pressing here. You got to keep forcing your thumb to go back, or you might go up and over, you know, something like that, right? And it just cuts all of the ability away from your fingers. So that is a huge part for your left hand, just doing something very simple like that exercise. You want a little bit of space under here, right? In between where your hand is and the guitar neck, right? You don't want to be locked in. This is such a comfort move for us, holding on tight. We got to get rid of that. Now with our right hand, another thing that is very, very tricky is just doing this. You know, if I can kind of go back to being a young kid and learning guitar, that was very awkward because you're making small, light motions. So what usually happens is we have this. Right? When you're adding that much muscle and that much strength, now it's another comfort mechanism because we can actually feel what we're doing. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of kids like to play the drums and just bang the hell out of them. We can actually feel what we're doing, right? And what we want to do is we want to calm that down for a few reasons. Number one, control. Right, that's how we end up getting all of the strings in there, you know, to gain control and only hitting the string that we want. We really can't be moving all that much. If we're not moving all that much, we're not using all that muscle, we're not using all that range of motion. So we want to cut that down and make sure you're going very, very lightly, all right, and just plucking the string and only making the motion you need enough to get the sound. Not moving that much in either direction from the string, and that's going to happen playing quietly at first, which is also everybody wants to play loud on the guitar, like, let's be honest. So that is two main issues, well, I guess both hands really, there's a couple issues in there, to really focus on to gain that control way sooner. If you can address these as soon as you pick up the guitar, okay? Then you can get into playing Happy Birthday and, you know, whatever other easy song there is, but I just want to address those right now because I just had a few absolute beginner students come my way, and I just remember how difficult that was when I was a kid. So use that, guys. If you do have any questions, if I'm missing something, because like I said, you know, not like I said, I guess I didn't really say it, but when you're picking up the guitar, we're relying on what we're used to, you know, what we're used to doing with our hands, and everybody's different. So there might be something that you're doing that I didn't address in here. So I'd like to hear from you and I can help out. Thank you guys, and I will see you tomorrow.